devil worship, slow motion vampire bikinis, and no plot. This is pure exploitation. Welcome to Creepin' It Real. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about 1974's The Night of the Sorcerers. This is a Spanish film with a sweet dubbed version. Let's check out this trailer.
When Sambonia was just another European colony, the white man ordered an end to the practice of voodoo. But they continued the celebration secretly, you know.
The Night of the Sorcerers.
There are several times they try to make it seem like there's more black people than there actually are by reusing the same actors. One scene, the women will have no top on, so men will be so distracted they're just staring at their breast, won't pay attention to their face. And then in the next scene, they will have their clothes on, but playing different people. And I could clearly tell that they were the same women despite staring at their breasts the first scene. I'm just saying.
The witches of 10 tribes and all those that followed them were exterminated there at that clearing.
The Night of the Sorcerers.
The altar of sacrifice. Here they cut the necks of the girls that had been chosen.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that scene. It is so cheesy and so bad. And so clearly there is a hole cut out in that altar for the head to come out, but it's just great. I love it.
But I always supposed what was sacrificed to the Loa was a white bird.
Have you ever heard of the Bulujaro ceremony of the devil of the jungle?
No, nothing.
The sacrificial rites convert the victims into leopard women.
Leopard women, there we go. Leopard print bikinis, gotta love it. This is one of the most hilarious things about this, is they keep talking about a leopard, and at one point they have like a large cat that is supposedly stalking them from the shadows, and that guide, or he's not really even a guide, he's just a guy that shows up that's kind of like giving wisdom to these people, like, hey, watch out for this place because you're probably going to die. He says we're being stalked by the leopard spirit. It's not even a leopard, it's a freaking cheetah. Anybody who has the slightest love for large animals could tell that this is a cheetah and not a leopard. Back to the slow motion bikinis.
The voodoo and the devil of the jungle were a threat of violent death in the mysterious African night.
And is it this that frightens the natives?
Dead witches in this black magic rise from the graves to kill, you see.
The Night of the Sorcerers.
Carol's not there. I found this on her sheet.
It's a warning of the voodoo.
It's a method to get us to leave.
There's no protection for us. Can't you see that, my dear?
The Night of the Sorcerers.
Oh, see, it's awesome. Oh, so good.
With Simon Andrew, Gally Hansa, and Jack Taylor.
Oh, this is perfect. She's drowning him in a vat of developer. Okay, one, I don't know. I used to work in a dark room where I would develop negatives to be transferred for big print because I used to work in offset printing. And I was the new guy, so I had to do all the crappy jobs, which was, you know, shooting the negatives and opaquing all the little dots that were in it. It was hideous. Anyway, she's drowning him in this developer. And the most struggle he gives is just to flail his arms around. There is no attempt to push himself up against the strength of this woman that I'm sure. I mean, we might say she has vampire strength now. I don't know. But even if he is to try that and to fail, he doesn't even attempt to turn his head to the side where his nose can go above the 2 inches of liquid that is in that little basin. The other thing is, even if we are to say she is strong enough with her hands to keep his nose firmly into this 2 inches of liquid, he could at least try to shove the dish out from under him. But never. There's no attempt. It's just let my arms flail and let her keep my nose under the liquid. But I guess sometimes you got to throw logic out to make these movies work. He deserved that. He was trying to be rapey, so he totally deserved that.
The ferocious leopard women struggled to their death in the night of the Sorcerers.
Ew.
The night of the Sorcerers.
Did you guys pick up on the name of this movie? I can't remember myself.
Produced by Pro Films and Hesperia. Directed by Armando de Osorio. The Night of the Sorcerers. Coming soon to this screen.
What does this movie have to offer? Not a whole lot, but it depends on what it is you're looking for. Because if you're looking for boobs, this movie's got it. If you're looking for slow motion running in leopard print bikinis, by golly, this movie's got it. In fact, I would say, and I'm over-exaggerating, I would say that about 80% of this movie is only slow motion leopard print bikinis running. The rest of it is women in some sort of undress. And in between those plot points, you've got men being men. That's the story here. So this movie starts out with this group of devil worshippers kidnapping this missionary woman. They tie her up to a tree, and then they whip her until her clothes come off. And then after they've whipped her clothes off and she's fully exposed, then they move her to the altar where they cut her head off. After her head is cut off, she somehow transforms into a vampire. Her head reattaches. They tie a ribbon around her neck to cover the fact that her head got cut off. She gets a leopard print bikini, and then she hunts other white people. If you take that opening scene and then repeat it 3 other times at its full length and add it throughout the movie, that is essentially the whole movie. I mean, it worked the first time, so let's do it 3 more times. The plot in this is just absurd. And there are even some like emotional drama aspects that they throw in that make no sense. You have this expedition that's going there to document through photograph and other things the decline in elephant herds or something along that line. One of the people in this group is the daughter of the guy who is funding the expedition. Well, she just sits on her butt the whole time and does nothing. Well, the guy who's the head of the expedition kind of goes over, tries to light a fire under her ass, but she's not going to have it because she's like, look, man, my dad funds this. I ain't doing shit. You do all the work. And he's like, girl, I'm going to write to your dad and tell him what a bitch you are. And she's like, try, you're going to get unfunded immediately. So he's all whipped now, and he walks away with his tail between his legs. The rest of the movie is just some random guy showing up saying, hey, you need any help? And they're like, no, we're just here to take photos of elephants and stuff. He walks them around. He's like, hey, you guys are pretty close to this area over here that I highly suggest you stay away from at night. You see, legend goes that this is where they committed a bunch of sacrifices. So you girls want to stay away from this. So night comes, this one girl who's really emotionally impacted by the story and is actually terrified. And she's kind of like, I don't think we should be here. This is scary. You know, he said we should stay away and I'm terrified, but I'm going to take my camera and go alone to the very spot that he said we shouldn't go to at night because I have special at night film and I'm going to go take pictures. Then she goes to the very place that she said she was terrified of and she was warned not to go to take photos just so that she could be captured, strapped to a tree, whipped until her clothes come off, put on an altar, and have her head cut off, turn into a vampire with leopard print bikini and running slowly. Rinse, repeat. That is this movie. I actually do enjoy the texture of the film. I have a kind of a special spot for the 70s film feel. But I cannot recommend this movie unless, again, all you're there for is for titillation. That is what you will find, because there's nothing else here. It's not scary. It's simply there to be an exploitation film. I'm going to land at a 4 out of 10 for this film. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you made it this far, you are a champion. You get a gold star. This has been Creepin' It Real. I'm Judah, and I'll see you later. Oh, side note, I'm actually in Portugal right now. So if you do leave comments, I will not be getting back to you quickly because I'm going to be out hiking, doing cool stuff, you know, instead of just sitting here getting fat and watching horror movies. But I do promise I will eventually get to any comments you do leave. Thanks for watching. Later.